As we explore quantum body and the reality beyond, I want to reflect with you on some of the current theories about the creation of the universe. So, of course, that current theory is Big Bang at the moment. We've had many creation stories. God created the universe, and the universe came from nothing, and the universe is 13.8 billion years old. But no matter what theory we adopt, the theories have to use human mind, human imagination, human constructs to come up with the theories. So, when we normally think of the Big Bang, it frequently is expressed as the universe beginning as a small dot and then expanding to what it is now, a cosmic horizon almost 100 billion light years away. And yet, the small dot image is very misleading because it does not really represent the Big Bang as cosmologists think of it. The current cosmological models think of the Big Bang not as an explosion. It was neither big nor did it actually bang. It was a rapid expansion of space itself happening everywhere all at the same time. This means that the universe wouldn't have had a center or an edge, and it could potentially be infinite in size from the very, very beginning. So it's difficult to imagine the creation of the universe in the way that cosmologists describe it. Here are some things, metaphors that have been used. The first is the image of an inflating balloon. Imagine a flat balloon with many tiny dots drawn on it. And as you blow air into the balloon, the dots spread apart, representing the expansion of space in the Big Bang model. This analogy emphasizes that the expansion happens everywhere simultaneously, not just from a central point. Another image frequently used is an expanding fabric. Similar to the balloon, imagine a fabric, a loom with dots woven into it. The dots are woven into it, and stretching the fabric in all directions would make the dots move away from each other, analogous to the Big Bang. This visualization highlights the idea of space itself expanding rather than objects moving through space. And then there are other ways to imagine this, so including fractals. Fractals are mathematical shapes that exhibit self-similarity at different scales. Some cosmologists suggest that the universe may have a fractal-like structure. This image, while abstract, can hint at the potential infinite complexity and interconnectedness of the universe. Fractal, a hollow movement, the whole represented in every part, although looking different, is still the same entity, and it's a movement. Okay, so having said all these, having expressed all these theories and trying to imagine it, I think it is clear that although mathematically we have some idea that the universe began with the creation of space and therefore also of time. Okay, it began with the creation. There's no such thing as before the Big Bang because there is no time and there's no space. So we can only use our imagination in the theater of space-time because that's all we experience through our senses. That's all we experience. space-time and causality. Our imagination is also in the theater of space-time and causality. But then, if the universe began with the creation of space-time and causality, then what is it that emerged as space-time and causality? What is it that emerged as space-time and causality? There our imagination can't go, our math can go. And when the math goes there, it says the universe began in all locations at the same time. Okay, all locations, omnipresent. It had the potential for infinite energy, omnipotent. It had the potential for infinite information, which led to knowledge. So omniscience. You see, now we're using religious terms. Omnipotent, infinite energy, omniscient, infinite information and knowledge, and omnipresence happening everywhere at the same time. This is beyond our imagination. It's quite spiritual as a description, whether we use the words that are scientific or we use words that are religious. So then, what is God? I was looking for, a reasonable definition of God, and then I realized that as soon as we have a definition of God, then we have limited God. Okay, and God being omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent can't be defined because it can't be limited. Here's a quote from Freeman Dyson, the great physicist, contemporary of Albert Einstein, who just passed away recently. He said, "I do not make any clear distinction between mind and God. God is what mind becomes when it has passed beyond the scale of our comprehension." So God is mind beyond the scale of our comprehension. But then you go back to, what is mind? Is mind the source of experience, or mind an experience itself? Because mind always operates within the boundaries of space-time and causality. Can't even go beyond that in imagination. So is mind the source of experience, or is mind an experience itself of a deeper source, which is modifying itself as infinite minds with species-specific perceptions that we call the universe? Mind, and there's no explanation for mind, no physical explanation of mind. So mind is a modified form of the incomprehensible, divine being that cannot be imagined, that cannot be conceptualized, that cannot be visualized, that maybe mathematically can be hinted at, but even mathematics is in mental space. So mind has no explanation. It is a modified expression of the infinite incomprehensible, which has no explanation either. So where do we go from here? I think where we go from here is surrender to divine mystery. To know God, to become God, you have to surrender to divine mystery beyond all imagination and comprehension, beyond the theater of space-time and causality. This leads to extreme humility and bewilderment and astonishment. I think astonishment, bewilderment, and humility are the way to truth. Of course, it has been said, I am the way. I am the way. I am is the divine mystery, and therefore it is the way. And we may not be able to comprehend it, but we can experience it. And in that experience is fundamental joy and peace and equanimity and love as the highest truth.